Well, people. I hope you are having a good day. I am on Windows. Well, Windows Server 2022. Why is that? Well, let's have a look at how it is to set up a shared, I think it's still called Samba or SMB, not server, SMB share or Samba share or whatever you would call it on the Windows Server. It's kinda not this. It's not the same on Windows, like the not the server edition, but it's kinda as straightforward. And I'm kind of showing you guys this because I have a lot of experience setting up shares on Linux and FreeBSD, and I will say you this, as a file server, Windows Server is quite fucking easy, you know. So let's do it. I open up the service manager. I go down to file and storage. You have, the server name here. You have volumes, disk, storage. Shares, you can do iSCSI. You can have your work folders. But we're just going to look at shares, and I already set one up here. And we see here it's an SMB. So if you're running Samba, or you can access Samba shares from your Linux desktop, you can also access these folders here. So what do? Well, you right click, you add a share. So you can do an SMB share, quick advanced application. You can do an FSS share, quick and advanced. We'll just go with a Samba quick. Samba quick here. And it tells you a little bit about what it is. And it's okay. So I'll just click next. What kind of share? So what server do you want it on? What volume do you want it on? Type in a custom path. We want a custom path here. So let's just go into, let's make a folder. Let's go into downloads. Let's make a folder. Let's make and call it Bob. Or Bon. Let's call it Bon then, apparently. We go into user, administrator. We may need to start this wizard. Yes, let's try and start it again and see if it came up there. So we're doing a quick. We want a custom path. We want user administrator. Oh, it's under documents, right? Or was it downloads? Downloads, there you go. I'm stupid. Bon. Select the folder. Click next. Name. Bon. Folder on Windows Server. Share description. Random. Click next. Other settings. So here, enable access-based incubation. Allow caching of share. Encrypt data access. Just allow caching of shares. And click next. Permissions. So everyone can read and execute. Kent account, which is an admin account I have on here, have full control. System have full control. Administrator have full control. Administrator have full control, and the administrator on the server full control. So I can go in here and I can change the customization in here. I can even add a user if I want to, or modify that. I can go in here and do way more. Like I can do auditing and effective access and shares and permission. Like you can go in here and customize it to your heart's content. I will just keep it as is. Click next. Confirmation. So it basically just gives you a list over what it is, and you click create. So it's creating the SMB share. It sets up the SMB permissions, and you click close. Now we have it here. I'm in a virtual machine, but if I go on to my Windows machine or my Linux machine, and I look into this server here, if it was on a physical hardware, I can also, I don't know if I have Pritz network set up on this one here, but I could basically just find it as Bon, and then I can log on either as a guest, or I can log on either with the Kent account, or I can log on with the administrator account. Of course, you need password for that. So again, you can set users up. So why am I saying this? Well, let's just for fun of it. How to set up a Samba share on Ubuntu Server 2004. And I agree. So this is here what you need: update server, install Samba. Then you need to configure Samba. Then you need to make a directory. You need to create a group. You need to add yourself to the group. You need to change ownership of the directory of the... You need to create a read-write permission to the new directory with this command. You are now ready to create the share. Now you go in and you edit the configuration file and you put these things in here. And you need to know what these things mean. Then you restart the Samba server. How to add a user. Then now we need to add a Samba user. We need to make sure that the user is added. We need to set a Samba password for that user. So what Windows is doing is it's using the existing users already made for the system, administrator and Kent and stuff like that. But for Linux, you need to create even further a user for Samba only, kinda. And then you have to go into the server. So I hope what this is kind of showing you is that this here, I set up a Samba server with me talking and making mistakes in under 6 minutes, while we also looked at how to set up a Samba server under Linux. I am sure that most people could not do that under Linux in under 5 minutes. Do you have more control under Linux? Not really. Because I can go in here and I can customize the exact same parameters I want to customize in here as I'm doing up here. All of this stuff up here. Besides creating, but the creating access, setting up the user, the password, and basically editing the Samba file, I'm to some extent doing here in this window here. I honestly don't think that you get any benefit from an administrator point by running Windows as a Samba server. If we are talking file sharing, file system technologies, handling big files, handling a lot of access at the same time, have a more efficient file system and stuff like that. I am 100% sure that if you're using BTRFS, XFSS, ZFS, all of these Linux file systems, I am sure you get a better performance out of it, and the file systems on Linux are better than the file system on the Windows. But from a setting up and getting started point, I will say Windows is faster and easier to set up an administrator as a file server. But again, if you need the power of the Linux file systems, you need to run Linux. So I'm not saying you should ditch Linux for Windows. It's all about what is best for you. That's what I've always been all about. What is best for you. See you all later. Bye bye.